So, Brooke and Marisa, my first question is, how did the two of you get into the fitness and wellness space?
Can we start?
Yeah, sure.
So we actually both grew up dancing, like from the age of 3. My mom owns a ballet studio in Ontario. So I was dancing my whole life until I was about 24, 25, and I specialized in ballet competitively. And then I went to post-secondary school at the National Ballet School. So I was dancing forever. And then for me, once my dance days were done, I still wanted to like move my body every single day. And I just felt like a little bit depressed when I first stopped dancing because I didn't really know like, what am I going to do now? I knew I didn't want to like teach dance to kids like forever because I was also doing that at the time. And then, I slowly kind of went into fitness and that was like totally for me.
That's how we met.
That's actually how we met.
We met at the gym. We met at Steve Nash. But yeah, I also come from a background in dance. So I grew up in dancing like all throughout high school. And then I like graduated and also danced on cruise ships and did different dance gigs like around the US. And then, like for me, it was also like I had grown up dancing. My parents are very active. Like my dad runs like triathlons. My brother is like a triathlete as well. So fitness was always like a really big part of my life. And it was just like an easy transition when you like leave the dance world after teaching dance. Also, we both taught dance. Like it's very smooth and you're still moving your body. We're very like self-aware with like when we're working our body. So yeah, it just kind of like happened. It wasn't like I was like, I want to be a fitness trainer.
And honestly, like when we both started teaching, I remember we both started teaching at Pure Barre, which is hilarious. That was like 10 years ago, it feels like. Together we were teaching there. It was such like a smooth transition from teaching dance to fitness, especially when you're teaching kids your whole life. It's like everything's so technical and now you're talking to like adults who actually want to be there and like understand their body a little bit better. It was like the easiest thing to like pick up and everything. So yeah, we absolutely love it. So yeah.
I think we could have a full episode just on growing up as a dancer. In my research, I always have to like stalk my guests a little bit to know what to even ask and about who's coming on. And it looked like both of you danced, and I grew up dancing as well, but I didn't realize to the extent of how much you dance and that it really did come into your career too, like as an adult. But I don't think it's mentioned enough. Like you spend like 20 to 25 hours for most of your life doing this one thing, and then it's like you go to university or you graduate high school and it just stops and no one tells you what to do, and it's such a shock to your body, to your life, to your like social system. And I think fitness is a totally natural transition. I know for me that was kind of the next thing too, but for all my girls and guys that grew up dancing, this one's for you because it's such like this weird transition phase in your life. I was lucky I had a university dance team and I met some of my best friends. So that was a nice stepping stone to kind of come off. But it's so weird. Do you have any advice for someone? I have a lot of girls who are in their first year of university or going into university and like stopping this hyper competitive world. Is there anything that you wish you had known or something you wish you had done during that time?
I feel like for me, it was like so much pressure of like what I thought like other people wanted me to be. And like I was trying to do that for so long. And then when like I was like dancing on cruise ships and like doing everything that I like thought I wanted to do, and I was still like, like this doesn't feel like right. It seems like a huge step, like stepping back from it. But then in reality, now that I look back, it's like, it like helped me gain relationships to like everything we're doing now. Right. So it's not like for a little bit, it feels like you're kind of leaving like everything you knew behind, but you're not, because like people you met through dance might like come into your life and like help you out in other spaces. So I just think like being patient and not like putting too much pressure on yourself to make it whatever it is for you. I think that.
But I even feel like too, so I was dancing like for university, that it was like a dance professional program. So I was still dancing every day. But we cheered for the CFL too, but I cheered for Toronto and she cheered for BC. So that was also like while I was in post high school. So I feel like that was also like such a nice way because I just moved downtown Toronto and I honestly didn't really know anyone minus the people in my ballet class every day. So I feel like if you like join a team like that, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I also like danced at like Harbor. I did like their like professional training program there. But I just feel like even that like is like, if you get to that point and you're still like, like I want to leave it, it feels like a huge like, you're like stepping down everything you knew is like all of a sudden not there. But yeah, I think like just being patient with yourself. I think like anything, like with a job, it's like you work all these years and then you realize that you don't want to be there anymore. It's like it feels really big in the moment, but after it, like all the pieces start to like fall together and then you're like, oh, this was a stepping stone in the right direction.
Yeah, totally. Even looking back, I think of all the skills I had through dance, and same thing, all the people in the community you built. You have no idea how it's going to transpire later in life. And it's like, oh, if you move somewhere and someone you went to dance camp with every summer now is in that city too, and you form that community around it. Like, you just never know what will come of it, and nothing gets wasted, even if it feels like it's a big shock.
Yeah, totally. For sure.
I also feel like now too, with like all the jobs I've had, I'm like so comfortable like talking to people or like being in front of big crowds from dance that I'm like, I can't even imagine if I never performed. There's no way in the world I would go up to people and like, hey guys, like, I don't know, welcome to our moneymaker class today. Like, you know, you'd be so shy.
No, that's actually like being in I'm in like, like for my, like I do a lot of like online social media. Like I work for a tech company too on the side, and like a lot of the people are just shy in front of cameras. If you're not used to being like a performer, and I think that's one huge thing that comes from dance is like you are like that's what teaching is basically. When we're all there teaching our class, like not only are we there to like teach fitness, but we're also like motivating everyone that comes to the class and like giving them that motivation to stay there and like power through it. It's kind of like performing. So yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, that's so true. I never really clued into that. I just thought it was normal, and everyone else also wants to be on a stage and just wants to ham everything up. I'm like, oh, that's not the natural response to things.
Yeah, totally.
I want to go in a bit deeper, just touching on that transition period and all the jobs you've had. If people just came to your page now and saw Moneymaker workouts and saw your personal profiles, it looks like you have it together, that you really found this clear path of success and aligning with your passions. But I'm sure that wasn't the case, as it's often not. Do you have any advice or just things, again, that you wish you knew when you started Moneymaker workouts and you knew you wanted to you knew you wanted to have your own thing, but weren't sure how to actually make that happen?
Yeah. I mean, I think that we both come from very different like paths. I went to university she went to university for dance and I went to university for communications because my parents forced me to. But I'm like, and then I remember going to school and being like, why the F am I here? Like, I hate this. I want to dance. I want to just be a performer. And then like now looking at like me having gone to school for those 4 years and learning the skills that I did learn, they've come into place so much in what we're doing. But I mean, for both of us, I don't think either of us really thought that we would be here right now, like with our business, to be honest.
It was more of just like a little like, so we were both teaching Pilates in the city, spin, just fitness classes, at all the fun boutique studios for like years. And then, so how we started for Moneymaker is we were just like, oh, there's no really like fitness events in Vancouver. Like her and I were both single at the time. We'd always go to like LA and just like see what they were doing for fitness down there. And we go to like these different events. We're like, this is so fun. Like, how does Vancouver not have any events like that
are focused around fitness
and like meeting other people, like other women in the community, and like, I don't know, like some fun wellness day. Like there was nothing like that in Vancouver. And at the time, I think this was like so long ago. I feel like I was 24, 25.
It was like 6 years ago.
6 years ago. And we were kind of like, okay, we have like such a big clientele from all of the studios we were teaching at. We're like, let's just like host an event and like see how it does. So then we just like I don't even think we even had Instagram for Moneymaker. I feel like Instagram wasn't really cool still back then. And then we just like started posting about having this class, and like all of our clients came, and it was such a good turnout. There was like 70 something people, and it was like so much fun. And we got so many sponsors I remember there was like Vega, they did like protein bars, we had like kombucha, the Four Seasons. Was it Four Seasons back then? They were open. We did at the Four Seasons rooftop patio, and there was like little wellness shots. It was just like such a fun day. And when everyone was like, this is so awesome.
But I think like we didn't have like an expectation of like, or I guess like, I think we both wanted to do this or like have this event, but like just putting ourselves out there, just taking the first step. And I think that a lot of the time people like, obviously it's good to plan ahead and like have a career goals and all of that. But also it's like if you're feeling called to do something and you're like, it'd be fun, or I see a gap in the market because there's not X, Y, and Z, and you just like feel like doing it, why not? Like the worst that can happen is you try it, it doesn't go well, and then you learn or whatever.
Or no one shows up.
But I think it's like that. And I think that that's been like something that maybe with us, like we've never put too much pressure on like where this is heading, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. We're not like business experts, but I think just like we just go with what feels natural, and it's like just kind of like worked out, which is
we're super lucky. So
that's a really common thread though with all the entrepreneurs I've talked to. And I've mentioned this before, and I went to school for business kind of because I knew I wouldn't teach myself accounting and finance, but I'd always learn about fitness and like all those other things that I actually really enjoy.
Yeah.
But you learn about like how to make a business plan, and that's totally valid and important, and you need aspects of that. But the people that I really look up to and I want to talk to, same thing, they've just been called to do something, and it's been out of a passion, and they have this like naivety about it. And it's like, if we do it and the worst case scenario happens, we're in the same position, versus if we don't do it, you're always going to be wondering, like you might be in a job you don't like, working the 9 to 5, and that's great for some people. But I think for a lot of my community and myself, that there's something else that you need to at least try out.
For sure. And like the thing is, like we both didn't do this full time, and like we still both have like other things on the side. That's just how it works for us right now. But like, if that's like what is going to get you out there, it's like you don't have to quit your day job. Like do it on the side and start like talking. And also I feel like another thing that works well is like just talk to people about it. Like maybe you're not going to take the step yet, but like start talking like you are going to take the step, and like things just start like happening because you meet people, then someone's like, hey, like this person might be a good contact, and then you're just putting it out into the universe, and then things just start to like roll for you.
Yeah, especially in Vancouver, we have like older mom crowd, younger mom crowd, like girls that go to UBC. We have so many like different amazing people that we've taught like since the past 10 years. And it's so funny because like some of the moms will be like, oh, I have someone, I don't know the wording for it. I have a connection for you, like to rent out this space, or like, hey, my friend started this like rosé company. They want to give you like free like rosé for after class. Like it's always so many people just connecting us.
How
to
much
other
people want to collaborate. I think like that's a huge thing for us. Like we wouldn't be here without like collaboration, like at all, and we're open to collaborating with small brands, big brands, like all types of brands. That we don't care, as long as like we vibe, like we're going to work with you. So I mean, that's a big thing that I think why we started this was because like we didn't think that in terms of the fitness space, there was really like a collaboration with like different studios. Like it just felt like it's like you go to this studio, you're like that person. And then if you go to this studio, you're that person. So no one was really like interacting. And like we just, fitness is fun. Like if you make it fun, you're going to keep doing it. And that's why we're doing what we do.
I love that you're big on collaborations and that you found this niche, because Vancouver, I've only been here full time for about 2 years, but with growing up dancing, I came out to Vancouver a lot for conventions and competitions and all those things. But the more I talk to people, it's actually surprising how much people are willing and want to help each other, which is great, especially Vancouver has a reputation of being kind of a cold city. But I think that's just like one niche of people. Like when you step outside it, there's actually so many people that want to help, want to be part of something, want to help you grow. And like you were saying with the different boutique fitness places, I think there's a lot of people who are open to everything. Even me and my girlfriends will do yours, like moneymaker workouts, then we'll go to Legree, then we'll go to Jaybird. Like we'll just do everything to try and get something going, you know?
Totally. And I mean, like we can't say that we tried everything, and that's kind of why we like created our platform, was because we get bored from doing like one specific type of workout. So
I also feel like your body almost like needs like a little change all the time. Otherwise it's like, okay, I'm doing the same thing every day for the past like 3 years. Like, you know, you need to like switch it up.
Yeah. I mean, people are so different. Like some people really like to stick. Sorry, we're going completely off.
No, this is great. I love this. This is like just a conversation. This is awesome.
People, like some people are very regimented and they're like to do their one specific workout like 5 times a week. So yeah, I mean, with fitness, it's really whatever works for you. But
totally. Sure I think it's also what you enjoy, because otherwise if you're forcing yourself to do something every day or like 5 times a week, like that's not sustainable either.
The worst feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest thing when people are always like, how do you guys like get your bodies? And it's like, we've literally been working out for like the last 10 years, like not intense. Like we don't have some crazy like workout routine, like just consecutively, like you just stick with it.
Very consistent, but also like when you're dancing, you're like 5 years old doing like little crunches, like bicycle crunches, like not gonna lie, like, you know, like I was in gymnastics, we had to do the splits and planks, like, you know, but I feel
it's like ingrained in your body.
Your body's just so used to it. And I feel like if you did grow up dancing or gymnastics or
doing sports,
your body almost craves it. And if you don't do it when you're older, you almost get depressed. At least that's how I feel. And you just don't feel like yourself.
Yeah.
So
no, that is so true. I even look back because I, like all of us, would teach dance classes like later in high school and had my own hip hop classes. And I'm like, oh my God, I was making these like 8-year-olds hold a plank for like a minute and be like, get up, like get going. Cause it's like, well, that's what I had to do. Like, this is how it works, kids. Like, get with the program. But it's so true. It's like, if I'm feeling down, it's like, oh, like, have I been slacking or something? It usually is that like physical connection too with treating my body well.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to go more into the business side of things too, because again, when people hear about like all this collaboration, yes, it's great, but there's always going to be struggles as well, starting anything. And even later on in business, there's always going to be things that come up. What were some early day struggles that you think either you could have avoided, or that, again, you want to speak about and give maybe a warning, or you had a really great takeaway after going through that experience?
You want me to?
Yeah, you can start.
I feel like, I mean, the biggest thing is like, I think just being like self-conscious of like what people are going to say about whatever you're doing. At least for me personally, like I feel like we know that we have a good thing, but it's like always that self-doubt, that little voice in your head that being like, why like someone else is better than you kind of thing. But I think that just like gaining momentum and like surrounding yourself with people that are like bringing you positivity and all that, then just like it just, you start to like be able to kind of overcome it. But in terms of like, I feel like that's the biggest thing.
I feel like too, though, there's always going to be someone like better than you, you know, like for your podcast, there's always going to be someone better than you for like,
or like
for anything
that looks like better than you,
that looks better than you, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. There's always something, like, especially since COVID, like every fitness trainer has an app now. Like we launched our app and we were like, honestly, everyone's getting an app now. Like, you know what? Good for everybody. Like, I feel like everyone during COVID was kind of just like, if you were teaching fitness, you lost your job. No studios were open. Like everyone kind of had to do their own thing. And I feel like some people, like I'll see them, they're like, oh my God, like so nice to see you. And they'll be like, I've even had like other instructors in the city being like, oh my God, we felt like we were like all in competition with you guys. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, you know, we were all trying to like, first of all, pay your bills during COVID, you know? And like, so I feel like now the online workouts, there's so many options you can do. I feel like that's why we wanted to launch our app too, was so that you could do it without Wi-Fi. That was like the main reason why we were like, let's launch our app.
But yeah, like just I feel like not comparing, like the biggest hurdle I think is like comparing yourself to others, especially with social media. Like you are obviously like doing your market research, and so all of a sudden your like accounts is like flooded with the same people that like, you know, are doing the same things as you. And just like knowing that like everybody, like, even the people that you look up to are definitely feeling the same way about the people above them and all this. So it's just like trying to keep like blinders on to a certain extent to not let that like not keep you moving forward towards whatever you're working towards. But in terms of, yeah, like for us, COVID was really like a kick in the butt. Like it made us really like buckle down.
We literally, I don't think even my boyfriend's like, you worked like the hardest you've ever worked during COVID. Like Marisa would come over every day at like so early. We'd do like a live class. We'd film it. Then we'd be like, we look back at our old marketing stuff and we're like traumatized. We're like, oh my God, like how we used to like create like stories to like promote our classes compared to now is like fully night and day.
Yeah, and
like
so you just grow.
We taught ourselves like everything. We like had to, we started with PicMonkey, then we had to get Canva, then we had to like, you know.
Yeah. So I think that we've just like grown a lot. So it's crazy. It's just like that's the thing. It's like everybody starts somewhere, and when you look back, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was only like 6 months ago. But you know, that's like that. If you're really loving what you're doing, then it really is just like you're rolling with it. And I don't know, it doesn't feel like work, I guess.
No, totally.
The thing that we like didn't even like think about was like accounting and like having to get a lawyer because we had to incorporate like all this stuff kind of got thrown to us during COVID, and we were getting advice from different people, and we were like, oh, we like never thought about that because that's like not what we.
That's when your degree comes into play.
Yeah. So that's like one thing, that's like a hot tip for anyone starting a business. Like once you actually get like income coming in, you don't even think that you need to like, I don't know, pay taxes for it or like stuff like that. Totally. And that was probably one thing that I wish we
got a head start on.
Yeah. But now we learned our lesson. But
yeah, there's a whole like unglamorous side to things too that are still really important.
Yeah.
Totally.
But there's a lot to unpack there, and I kind of want to get a bit more into these different topics. Yeah. One thing with the comparison and self-doubt, I think, is huge, and I wish I could offer tips. I feel like everyone goes through it, every entrepreneur, everyone embarking on their own brand. There's a lot on my TikTok page of like the delusional confidence. And on one hand, I really like it because I do think you need to like any of that negative self-talk, put it to the side, like push it deep down and just trudge along, keep going. But then it's also this like weird balance of never wanting to come off as arrogant or that you truly think that you're the best or that you don't have anything else to learn, because that's so far from the truth.
For sure.
How did you guys like, do you have any tips or like tactics you do if that negative talk comes up? Like, do you just fully ignore it? Are you able to like have a little like self-care routine that puts you back in a better mindset, or what do you do?
I feel like we're kind of lucky because we have each
Marisa
other.
will call me out. She's like, you're being so negative. And I'm like, okay, like she'll call me out.
We have, I feel like when you're doing a business by yourself, I don't know if I could do that because it's like, who do you talk to? Like, I mean, obviously you would have people around you, friends, family. But I think like with having each other, whenever like one of us is like, oh my God, like just stressing out, there's usually the other person's like on the calmer end, and like we have each other to kind of like talk through. So I think like one thing would be like, if it is just you by yourself, then finding like a friend that you can get like good advice from, not like biased advice, someone that like actually will tell you the truth when they need to, but then like also there as like a good person to just that will listen to you. Because a lot of the time you just have to like talk it out, and then it's like not a huge like issue or whatever it is that you're stressing about. I mean, I think, having someone there for sure. And then like continuing to take care of yourself, like in terms of like taking time away from your work. Sometimes it's easy to like, I'm sure you know this, like when it's like your passion, you're like, it's like a Saturday and you're still like on the computer doing work, pulling away and like putting your phone down for like a full day and like knowing that everything's going to be okay like the next day when you come back to it, does wonders.
Yeah, I feel like the phone thing for me in the past month has been driving me nuts. Like I feel like we're always talking to clients on Instagram and like posting stuff, and then it gets
feels
to the
like
point,
you have to like answer to them like,
yeah, and I'll get like a DM from somebody and I feel so obligated. Like no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm driving and I see it, I like unlock my phone and I'm like driving, this sounds bad, and I'm trying to like respond to them. Yeah. I do not pull over, but I should. But like, you know what I mean? I feel so obligated to answer them. Or if an email comes through with a client asking a question, I feel like I need to answer right away. In the past month, I've been like, okay, I literally need to just like turn off my phone, or not even turn off. I just plug it in, put it on that new do not disturb. And then I just like 5 hours without it feels so amazing, because I feel like if you're always like even on social media and then seeing other fitness things pop up, or like your competitors popping up, and it's just always so much on social media, it gets to be way too much. And you feel like your head's going to explode.
Setting that boundary is so important. Even me with like a small account and a growing following, I still feel that pressure. Even if I get a comment or an email, like someone replying back, it's like, if I don't respond now, they're going to forget about me kind of thing. And it's like, that's not true. You can actually take some time and like be off social media and like enjoy your life. Or if I'm at an event or something, I feel the need to document it and then create content from it to post on the podcast page. And it's like, sometimes you do need to do those things, but it's also okay to like be in the moment and just enjoy.
I mean, definitely. Like I've been thinking about this a lot. It like ebbs and flows so much. And like there's periods, like I feel like before the app launch, like we had 3 months that like I feel like I was like, we were both really stressed and we were having to like do a lot. But then there's periods like right now, like we're like, it's launched, it's like summertime. People are obviously like, we're wanting to do things outdoors, and it's okay to like give yourself like the weekend or whatever, if it's 4 hours, the weekend, a day, that you think is going to make you feel better. Then I think like taking that time for yourself is like key for sure.
No, definitely.
And like getting away from it.
Yeah.
No, you need that time. I want to get more into community, because it sounds like that was really a big part of your passion in creating these wellness events and then turning into the brand and your business. But do you, again, have any tips, or what were some of the strategies you used? Is it really as easy as looking up someone on LinkedIn and sending them a cold email, or going up to someone that you really like their fitness class? Or what were some of the things that you did that you found were effective?
So we were really fortunate, I think, because we were teaching in Vancouver for like 5-6 years before we started Moneymaker. I felt like, and we were seeing clients, like you would see them like 5 days a week, like in the morning, you know, you knew like their kids' names, you knew like everything about them. Like you would text, like I text so many of my clients. And so I felt like we were very
in the fitness community.
We already had a big community just from seeing people every day, teaching them for years. So that was kind of like, we were very lucky, so that when we did launch like our online workouts or even our in-person events pre-COVID, it was that all of those girls, there were some guys too, like, you know, they all just naturally like came to our classes because we saw them already like 3-4 days a week.
And then like teaching at these studios, we would obviously get like a lot of people from like Lululemon come to our classes, and like Aritzia. And so like we built a lot of our like partnerships through those people. So when we first started, we did do like a bunch of our classes at like the Lululemon lab. They closed now, but it was in Gastown. So, and that was through like people that worked there, but they would come to our classes. And then same with Aritzia head office. A few of the girls would come to our classes. So we already kind of had like little people, but in the community that we already knew and we could reach out to. But yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the time it's like just send that Instagram DM, and like the worst that can happen is no one answers it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, with no shame, like we've reached out to companies that like we're like, oh, like who knows if they'll answer, and like most of the time if they're pretty big they won't, but we still send the message because I mean, hopefully one day someone will read it and be like, oh, sorry, like we just saw this, like for sure, yes, or no, we can't right now.
Yeah.
So with like, for sure with our industry, I would say like LinkedIn obviously is not our platform, but like Instagram, reaching out, DMing.
It's like
and
word of mouth too. Like so many of like, even we have some clients in Ontario because my mom lives in Ontario and my mom does her online classes and like she tells her friends, or like girls I used to teach dance to that are now like 18 years old are doing our classes. And it's so funny because I'm like, I used to teach you ballet when you were like 4. So I feel like it's such word of mouth. Like she has some friends, where was it, or Arizona, Scottsdale or something, and they were doing our online classes because Marisa used to dance with them on the cruise ships. It's kind of just like word of mouth.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because we can see like where our clients, when they purchase things, we can see where they live. Yeah. And during COVID, we had like clients in like New York, LA, and Arizona. It was really cool.
I think like just like reaching out to people, not being afraid to like network in like a way that feels like natural to you. I think like for us, we love building like friendships, relationships through our classes, and that's how we meet a lot of our clients. And like
we even did like an influencer class like a month ago, and that was probably the first time that we had to actually reach out to girls being like, hey, we're doing a private class, like we would love to invite you. And that was probably like the first time we actually had to be like, hey, we want you to come,
ourselves out,
instead of being like, hey guys, just come, and people like sign up.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean? So, and we actually met so many like really cute, awesome girls in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And it was funny because a lot of them aren't even from Vancouver, kind of like how we're both not from Vancouver. So
yeah. I think like just getting out there. It's easier said than done depending on like what type of person you are. But I think that it's like just the worst that could happen is the person doesn't answer your message, and then you're like, okay, well, they are missing out.
Exactly. It's really, at the end of the day, not a big deal if someone says no or doesn't reply to your email. And I think it comes back to what we were saying earlier of having that dance background. And it's just kind of ingrained in us too, of putting yourself out there, or even going to auditions. You're opening yourself up from criticism all the time as a dancer, and it's welcomed. But for some people,
yeah, exactly. You're like used to just being like always
like picked apart in ballet, fully picked apart. You're so used to it, you know. So
yeah, so it's easier to be like, okay, like, why not send that message? But I think for people listening and that are wanting to do it, we're telling you, it's really that easy, quote unquote. Like, you won't die, everything will be fine if things don't go your way. But also I want to add to that, with you guys being in the fitness world for so long, it was also a really genuine thing. I think people can easily tell if you're at a networking event or reaching out when you're just trying to gain something from that person or business, not having a real alignment of why it makes sense to partner up or work together in some sense. I think you always have to keep that in mind too.
100%. And like, I feel like a lot of the time we're not really like asking for anything in particular. We want to like explore like how we can collaborate. And so it's just like opening, like, let's go for lunch or coffee, whatever it is, with the whatever. Let's just say it's like a small startup that has like fitness workout clothes or something like that. And it's like, we right off the bat, we're not going to be like, like give us clothing and we're going to put it on and like take pictures of it. Like, no, we just want to explore like where how we could like both benefit from this partnership. And then most of the time, like obviously it ends up like working out and lining up. But I think to start off, you just want to connect with people and then see if like your businesses align.
And there's so many times too, Marisa and I will be like, okay, like what would we want at the event? Like there's been times like, okay, like what would we want in a goodie bag, where we'd be like so excited to like get that goodie bag like after the workout. You know what I mean? We kind of think like that, not so much as like, can we have something like for like donation? Like we're kind of like, oh my God, like these girls will like love it. Like they'll post about it. Like, so we think like that too, like how we want our clients to feel when they're there.
Yeah, you are also kind of your target customer. So it really is getting your own heads. Like, what are you looking for out of this? Or what would you want to?
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
I think too, I want to add, like, yes, I do have a business degree, but the biggest thing I've learned is it's all about who you know. Like, it literally, Doesn't matter. This is for my listeners too who are stressing about a grade. I've been there calling my parents crying.
Oh my God.
It literally doesn't matter. Like, I wish someone told me that, or I just listened to that.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing about school, I will say that, like, if you're in school right now, it's like sucks, but also it's like at the end of the day, it's like getting through 4 years of like postgraduate education. Maybe you don't know exactly what it is that you're going to do with that degree, or maybe it won't even come into play, but at least you like stuck it through for those 4 years. And like, there is like a benefit to that. And like, now when I think back and like going to school, I'm just like, I'm happy that I went, because it's like I have found that I've applied a lot of like the things that I learned in school in different areas that I probably didn't even think was going to use them.
Yeah, exactly. And this is turning into a rant, but I want to share my story too, because I just loved like chatting with you guys. But the biggest class for me was a public speaking course I did in my first year. And they do really recommend it. But I thought, again, coming from a dance background, that, oh, no, I've got this. But I didn't realize how nervous I would be when I have to give this 10-minute presentation on a specific topic, not just talking with my friends or performing to a crowd and I can't actually see the people in front of me. So it's things like that, too, that you don't even know will come up, or the people you meet in school. And my dad always says to me, it's like having a ticket. You get your degree if like that's the path for you. Now you have this ticket and you can ride any ride you want in life. You have it.
Really good.
And you always have something to like fall back on too. Like for me, I mean, worst case scenario, I could go back to teaching ballet to kids. Like worst case, but you guys went to school for something a little different.
No, but I mean, and the flip side is the same. I feel like if you are someone that's like not going to school and knows exactly like what kind of where you want to head to, or maybe you don't, but like you're trying out different things. Like I think there's also like you can gain so much knowledge from being out in the field and like not going to school too.
Yeah.
So it just, I mean,
I honestly think it's like what you want to do with your life. Like if you want to be a doctor, obviously you're going to school. If you need to do something, you know what I mean? But I feel like the younger generation too, it's kind of crazy. Like you see how well they are with everything on the computer and like making like videos and like all that stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like we never had any of this when we were in school, like in high school, you know? So
things are changing.
Things are really changing. Yeah.
I want to get into more the health and fitness side of things, because both of you are fitness and wellness gurus in my eyes, and I think in everyone's eyes. But I want to start with some of your non-negotiables. So more on the nutrition side. Are there supplements? I want the brand. I want to know, are there things you eat every day? Like, what are your go-tos?
I can start. I can talk about this for like 10 hours. Okay, so I'll say, just because you said supplements before I forget, I have you heard of Ritual vitamins?
Oh yeah, I want to try them.
Like not an
ad. This is not.
In the future, I wouldn't hate it if it was.
If you're listening, we would like to be sponsored.
We would love to be sponsored. But no, so I listened to the Skinny Confidential podcast a lot, and she had like a promo code for it, and she was talking about it. So I was like, I'm going to do my research. So anyways, they have these vegan multivitamins for women. And I love them, and it's a subscription. So it literally just comes in the mail once a month, and literally everything that I need is in there. And it's like, I think like $30 something. So that's like the supplements I like to take, because before I had those, I used to go to like Body Energy or VitaSave, and I would literally spend like $300 on like a magnesium, a B12, a probiotic, like, and it adds up so fast. And I was taking all these pills, and I'm like, honestly, I don't even know if I feel any different. And you're spending like hundreds of dollars. So now that's like a supplement that I take 2 pills a day. I do that. That's like the supplements I take. I also have magnesium for before bed. But some non-negotiables are eating breakfast. And if I don't eat breakfast, I'm like so hungry and lightheaded, and I feel like emotional. And my go-to is avocado toast or peanut butter toast with like blueberries and chia seeds.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's like something I have to do every day, even if I'm on vacation. Like if I'm up for an hour, I like have to eat. Otherwise, I just can't like go on with my day. I'm trying to think some other non-negotiables. Moving my body every day. Love working out. It makes me super happy. So whether it's like Now that we have our online classes, honestly, some days if I'm like cooking, I'll like open my laptop and I'll do like a 40-minute like long and lean legs, like one of our workouts, and just keep my laptop open. I'm kind of like multitasking. That's a big non-negotiable, is like obviously moving my body. I need to get better with sleep. I wish that was a big non-negotiable, but that's something I need to work on, is definitely like my sleeping.
So I feel like for me, definitely some sort of movement. I've tried to be less hard on myself on like, I think sometimes, I don't know, maybe as women we have certain like standards that we want to like look a certain way, so then we like force ourselves to do these crazy workouts, and then you're like, just, it's like the guilt if you don't do it, and then while you're there you're like, I don't want to do this. So getting more like down to the basics. So like Brooke said, we have our app that like there's like 5-minute workouts, 10-minute workouts. So sometimes when I'm just like, fuck it, I do not want to work out today, it's like whatever, I'll throw on like a 10-minute workout, and then after that you like, even if that's all you did, like you feel so much better. And then getting some fresh air for sure. Like I need to go outside and just like go for a walk. My dog has helped me a lot with that because she needs to go for walks. So then I take her for a walk. And then I would say like a coffee. For sure. Caffeine is a non-negotiable in the morning for me.
Oh, that's me too. I'm also trying to get better with the sleep, and I listen to like the Skinny Confidential is like a huge, like I love Lauryn so much.
Yeah, me too.
But Huberman Labs came on and they were talking about how it's trying best to like wait at least, I think it was like an hour to an hour and a half, get outside, have no caffeine. And I was like, in what world? Like, I'll try, but like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. No, I know. It's actually, but it actually does help a little bit. I found that like when especially with digestion, like I found that when I like wake up and like have a coffee right away, like I'd like crash way earlier, and also like it just like doesn't, my stomach's like when I eat food it doesn't like settle very well. But then if I try to push it, like I would say an hour is what I wait. Like I'll wake up, do my thing, go for a walk, and then come back and like have coffee ready. Then it works. But
I wake up and I have to like leave my home like right away to go train somebody. So I'm like, coffee, it's like 7 a.m. and I, even if I don't even want it, it's just like I like naturally am drinking it in the car before water. I wish it wasn't like that.
They say like to try like pushing it back like 5 minutes, and then in increments like that, 5 minutes and 10 minutes.
I know, I'm trying, but none of us are perfect. And it's also refreshing that there's things that both of you are wanting to work on as well. Because with wellness, I fully love this world of wellness and fitness I have since I was honestly a kid. But it's such a high standard too, and there's blurry lines of things of like doing the most, but then becoming unhealthy if you do everything and you are too strict with things. So I think it goes back to having your negotiables of knowing what makes you feel good, and then also not being like a bitch to yourself if you can't hit things or do perfectly.
Well, and it's like such like, I mean, with like that goes for everything, even like eating. Like Brooke is vegan, I'm not. I tried to go vegan for like 2 years. It did not work for me. I felt so guilty because I was just like, oh, like, but you know what? I've never felt healthier now that I eat like meat like a couple times a week, you know, and it's just really trying out what works for your body and for yourself, like not even your body, just what makes you feel like the healthiest version of yourself. And like knowing that it also ebbs and flows. Like there's days that you might not feel like great and other days you feel good, and it's just trying to keep those days that you feel good more consecutively than the others.
No, exactly. For people, we mentioned how the pandemic was hard for both of you as fitness instructors, and it was hard on everyone with gyms being closed. Like, I know your clients missed you dearly. I was going insane not being able to go to an actual gym or a fitness class and studio. But for someone who, like, now that things have been open for a while, maybe they've put it off and they're really intimidated to get back into a routine. Do you have any tips or any stepping stones to help them get back feeling their best?
So one of the nice thing is if they don't feel comfortable like going, let's say you gained or some people feel like they gained weight during COVID, you know, and they're kind of like self-conscious to like go back into a gym, or they feel like they've been like so out of their workout routine for a long time. The nice thing is it's hard. And I feel like even me now, like if I go to and this is funny because I teach group fitness now, and I even feel weird going to a group fitness class because I feel like people are so close to me. And I feel like I'm such a germaphobe now. And I feel like I still kind of struggle to like go into like a big public space and work out with people. I almost prefer like working out at home by myself or like in my small gym in my building. But I think like a really good tip for people that feel intimidated, or maybe they're not ready to like be around people sweating, is to like, for example, like we have our at-home workouts. You can like, if you're new to fitness, we have like beginner ones too. You can just like do it in your own space at your own time. No one's watching you. You can do that for a little bit for let's say a month or two till you're back in like the groove. And then another really good tip, if you want to like actually like leave your home, is to like book a workout class with one of your friends, or like go to a fitness event.
Yeah.
Or meet someone from work there. That way you feel like you can't not show up if you're meeting somebody there. That's a really good way to get back into the swing of things, is to like make a commitment.
Having an accountability partner.
Yeah.
I think like even like just being like, maybe, yeah, you haven't even like working out maybe isn't even in the books, like going for a walk, being like calling up a friend and being like, hey, like let's go for a walk on Saturday morning, and then like grabbing coffees. And I think like starting off like that, walking is underrated for like working out. I feel like it's like such a good way to get like physical exercise, and like it's like not strenuous. Everybody can do it. It's free. But yeah, I think just like, yeah, what everything that Brooke said also, but like at the end of the day, it's also what like we were talking about this before. It's like you can't just force yourself to do like go for runs if you hate running. So picking something that you know you like. So start off with that and then building on that.
Yeah.
No, those are great tips. And I want to add something from my personal experience. And again, always going back to growing up as a dancer, because that's just my identity. I still tell people I'm a dancer, even though I haven't been to a studio in a while. But growing up, I was like peak fitness, like you can hold a plank forever and ever, like you're super cut, all these things. And then within COVID, working with a coach, she had really different plans and my body changed a lot. And I didn't really realize going into that experience how much it would. So now I'm back on track, feeling my best. But I think also being gentle with yourself while still pushing yourself, like we always talk about not comparing ourselves to other people, but also comparing yourself to yourself. So if like pre-COVID, you were a fitness class junkie and super fit, and then you just did nothing, don't be mad at yourself for not being able to do the same things. Like you were saying, do a 10-minute workout, go for a walk, take those steps. And because otherwise I find if you try and go back to where you were at your peak, you just get so discouraged and you do nothing.
Totally. I agree with you.
Yeah. And that's why I think like, yeah, for sure, being like more gentle with yourself. Like there's definitely days, and this is like, I mean, I don't have the science to back this, but I know for sure there is science out there to back this. It's like as women, when we have our periods, like those days, like you like actually doing like really straining exercises isn't good, and you like won't feel your best. So it's like there's times of the month that you might like do a yoga class, and like maybe you would never count a yoga class as a workout, or maybe you would, but like doing things that you're like just being like, okay, my body, I love you, and I'm going to listen to you, not try to push you.
There's definitely weeks for me too where I'll like do like 5 days in a row at the gym, like doing like heavy glute work and like crazy cardio. And then I feel like there's weeks where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go on like get 14,000 steps today, like something like that. Oh, I'm just going to do like a 10-minute core workout. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm more like accepting of that. Whereas when I was younger, I was like, no, I need to do 2 workouts a day. Like it was so funny, like how I used to think. I would like do a spin class, a Legree class, and then still be like, I want to do something else, like boxing. Like I was just going crazy. And I feel like as you get older, you understand that you don't need to do that to your body. It's not healthy, you know, but I feel, So now I totally just like listen to how my body feels every day. So.
And again, that's easier said than done. But I think coming from both of you, people will take it more seriously, hopefully, versus just some girl on a podcast saying it over and over and trying to understand that myself.
I feel like that's the key thing is like, listening to your body, but then like if you are starting to like get back on like that workout train, is like starting small and building on that. Like what you said, it's like don't expect to go back to what you were doing a year ago if you haven't worked out for that year. But it's like committing to like be like, okay, every day I'm going to move my body for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and then sticking to that. But it doesn't mean those 15 minutes need to be like exactly the same every day. And then don't try to do everything that everybody else is doing, because it's not going to work.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do what works for your body.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. For anyone who's unfamiliar, I'm sure a lot of my Vancouver listeners at least know what Moneymaker is and have been to at least one of your classes. But for those who haven't or are curious about the app, what can they expect in a Moneymaker workout class?
What can you
So I'll say for the app, we'll talk about like our online workouts first. Our online workouts, we try to make it seem like you're at a studio, even though you're not. You're just like at your home. So the nice thing with our at-home workouts is the way we filmed it is that you can hear the music over our voices, under our voices. So a lot of online workouts you'll notice on YouTube, they don't have any music in the background. It's just like people talking. So this is what I love about our workouts is if you do them from home, you can just like crank that music up and it feels like you're in a studio, but you're just at home. So that's super good.
We teach them like, if you've been to any of our in-person classes, we teach them like that, but it's just on camera. So you get that in-studio feel, which is like, I mean, for anyone that's been used to going to studios, it's what motivates you. You feel like you're like
super motivated. And the nice thing is that because there's two of us, there's always one of us like leading you through the workout and then one of us doing the workout with you. So there's always someone to follow along with. And the nice thing with our online workouts, if you like don't like HIIT workouts, then there's like low impact, there's like Pilates inspired, there's like heavy leg work, there's like bar inspired workouts. So there's like a little bit of everything. Which is really fun. So you can kind of click through it all. And then our in-person workouts are more like a little bit of a party. We usually have like a mic, we're like blasting the music.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really just like a fun time to come with like a girlfriend. We really want to build like what we were saying initially, why we started doing our classes was like to make it like an event that's not just like you're showing up, going to like get your like 45-minute workout and then like leaving. We want it to be like an experience with you and whoever you come with, or even if it's just by yourself. Like we have lots of girls that come alone and then the like chat to like the girl beside them. So it's really like a community that we're trying to like continue to foster in our in-person classes.
I can vouch for that from personal experience. When I was going to your, what is it, summer sweat series?
Summer sweat series. Yeah.
It was so fun. And I was walking, I saw like two girls with yoga mats and I was like, are you going to the Moneymaker class? And then we just started chatting and then I met up with my friend after. And honestly, it felt like you were in a music video, just a bunch of girls and women working out and people having FOMO as they were walking by being like, what is this fun event? Like, I want to be part of this too. It was awesome.
Totally. That's a very good review.
What does a perfect day look like for both of you? If you had it your way, like I always love knowing people's skincare routines or what brings them joy. But for each of you, if you could plan out your own perfect day.
I can start because I'm probably way more simple than I'm not huge. Like I'm like so low maintenance when it comes to like skin and stuff. So I don't really have a skin routine. But in the morning, I definitely try my best to not look at my phone for as long as possible. So I don't look at my emails. Even if people have texted me, I don't open the text messages for, I would say like 30 to 45 minutes. I'll wake up and I will meditate, go for my walk if I have time, and then like drink my coffee. An ideal day like after that would be not to work. No, I'm just kidding. But would be to like just be out in the sun. I don't know. I love to be like outdoors, going for hikes. We both like, well, I used to live in North End too, but like in North End, there's so many hikes, so many trails. So I love to do that, and then like, or go paddle boarding, something like that. But definitely like do something active.
Mhm.
That I think that's like my ideal of a good time.
No,
I'll
same.
do mine.
Yeah. So no skin routine. Just
So
get
I'm
active.
opposite. So I would love to like, were you saying like perfect, like in a perfect world?
Yeah.
Routine? Okay. Mine would be to like wake up and have like a huge vegan breakfast, like ready to go on the table for me that I do not have to make, and like a big green juice and like an oat milk latte, and then going to like a really hard like personal training session. I feel like pre-COVID, me and Marisa got to train at Aritzia with our personal trainer Cam, and that was like one thing we got to look forward to. Every
Because
week.
sometimes we have to be pushed.
Yeah, like someone, like we're so used to just like doing our own thing or like training other people that it's like, and we've taught at all the studios, you know, like you just want like someone to tell you what to do and like not have to think about your workout. So I'd love to go to like a really good personal training session, like come home, and then like I love shopping, like going shopping, and then like being outside. Same thing, like Marissa said, we love like hikes and stuff like that. I would love that, and then
that's a really long day.
I know, but this is kind of like what I like to do on Sundays, though. Not gonna lie.
She's like, the day has 48 hours.
Yeah, then like hang out with my little dog, and then at night I love doing like a face mask, like a super fun face mask, and then I like to put on. Have you heard of Salty Face?
Yes, but I haven't tried them.
Okay. The best thing in the entire world.
This is not sponsored.
This is not sponsored either, but they sent me a free. I actually have a promo code, but
oh my
they
God,
sent me to try. That's how I tried it, but it's not. It's literally not sponsored. But I love to do this before bed. You like wash your face, and you comes with a little makeup brush, and you spray it on the makeup brush. You put it on like bronzer, but it doesn't appear for like hours, and then you put face cream on. And I swear to God, you wake up and you look so glowy, and like you don't even have to wear face makeup. It's like life-changing.
Oh my God. I need to try that.
Day, I would do that in my perfect day, but I do that now.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say another thing in the morning is face rolling. Like,
face rolling.
Have you gotten the Skinny Confidential? This is also not sponsored, but I love, we're obsessed with her. Her ice roller is like amazing.
Do you have it?
No, so I tried to get in, they sold out, and then the Skin Girls had it, and I tried to get it there because I was Lauryn for Halloween, and I did like a reel of her, and I wanted to use it, and they were sold out too, so I need to get it now. She has the new one.
Oh yeah, she has the balls.
Yeah.
But the ice roller is like so cold that honestly, even if you feel like you're starting to get like a pimple or something, you can literally just like, I don't know, it just feels so good on your jaw, like right here too.
I'm going to send this to Lauryn and see if she said anything. She reposted, I like died. She reposted my reel and commented on it or something. And I was like literally like 5 years old jumping up and down. Yeah. I'm going to send this to her even if she doesn't see it.
Yeah.
I think both of those days sound amazing, but I think I'm leaning a bit more towards Brooke's. I would also love just having everything made for me. Shopping, a personal training session.
I didn't know that we could lay out like a 48-hour day.
And then like putting on a nice pair of like silk pajamas and like going to sleep peacefully, you know?
Yeah. That's the dream. That's what we're trying for. Yeah. Before I let you guys go, I have a couple more final questions. And this one I like to ask all my guests. And that is there a product, TV show, resource that you're both loving that you want to recommend to all the listeners?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay, great.
Okay, so one thing I'll say that I absolutely love, and I know I should have said this like as like a wellness tip, is we have these. You can see me on camera. Do you have one of these like Starbucks big water bottles?
No, but I have a huge, obnoxious like gallon water bottle that's like my security blanket.
Oh, okay, yeah. So me and Marisa have these. Like, I have so many different ones at home. This is something that's like so underrated, but I bring it everywhere with me. If I don't have it, I feel like lost without it. It helps you drink your water. And I think because it's just like a straw on the top, it's like something I think everyone needs is like a good water bottle that you can bring in your car to a workout next to your bed. I feel like I drink
with a straw.
Like no cap, nothing you need to like flick open. Because I feel like you end up drinking so much more water and your skin just looks so much better. You look way more hydrated. You feel good. So that's one thing. But then I'm also obsessed with my Apple Watch. And I feel like I got it during COVID, and I never thought I would be as obsessed as I am with it. Like, just to like track your steps and everything. Like, there's days where I'm like, I feel like I've like, if I'm not working out that day, let's say it's like a rest day, I'm like, oh yeah, I've like, I don't need to like go on a walk or anything. And I look at my steps and I'm like, I've only done 3,000 steps today. And you feel like you've like moved your body so much. It's like just such a nice reminder to be like, oh, I should go outside. And then I'll go on like an hour walk. And then you get your like 10,000 steps. And it's just like a nice little like reminder just to kind of keep you on track. But also, I don't know, even if you've been sitting down for a long time, you get a little like ding and it's like, you should stand up now. And you're like, oh, wow. Like, you know, I'm absolutely obsessed with my Apple Watch.
The ice roller is something that we both love. And
yeah,
I would say that even if it's not hers, like get an ice roller, stick it in your freezer and do it every morning, especially if you're upwards of 30.
I just turned 30 and I'm freaking out.
No way.
Yeah, she's older than me too.
That's insane. Yeah. And I'm not like saying this to blow smoke, but I was like, how have I not seen you guys out? Because I'm turning 24 in April. Like, I'm still 23, but I'm like,
that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, but I was like, you guys must be like 25. Like, how have we not have like similar friends and stuff? But
yeah,
I think, and I need to say this out to the universe, there's like this weird like adult puberty stage you go through. Because I was like, maybe it's like COVID and coming out of it. I was like, me and all my friends talk about this a lot. Like, we were so cute in university, like feeling ourselves. And then all of a sudden, like adult acne, like bills, stress, like it's like you go through this weird transition period. And then I feel like you kind of get your shit together like mid-20s. And then it's a bit more smooth sailing out.
Yeah. You know what? I can totally agree.
Quarter life crisis is definitely a thing. I feel like you're like changing so much. Your life changes.
Yeah, but I also feel like this is so funny. I keep doing this. I like re-downloaded my Snapchat like a couple nights ago just to like get photos of my dog from when he was a puppy because I like don't have Snapchat anymore. Anyways, I saw all these old photos and videos of like me and Marisa or like me like from like when I was 25, like 5 years ago. And I do feel like when you're younger and like, I don't know, I feel like as you get older, you stop wearing so much makeup and you start taking better care of your skin and stuff. I feel like I look way older when I was 25 years old compared to now.
Also,
it is
stress,
crazy.
I think, the stress of like, I mean, you were working like,
I was working
at a nightclub and then waking up in the morning to teach. Like,
that's a hard routine.
30 hours a week of
so
like fitness.
I would wake up Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. to teach at Legree all day. I would teach there. And then on the weekends, I would do bottle service till like 4 a.m. So my sleep pattern was like so out of whack. I almost feel like my face was so swollen. And when I look back at photos, I'm like, oh my God, I just look. And I was vegan. I like ate so healthy, but I felt like my body was so stressed out 24/7.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't teaching fitness, then I'd be doing those like 2 or 3 workouts a day because I was just, you know, like that's what I loved to do was working out. But I feel like I wasn't like letting my body just chill and rest. And I feel like when COVID happened, I was actually getting like 8 hours of sleep. And I remember I'd wake up and I was like, wow, I feel like I have so much more energy. And like my skin felt so like, I don't know, like calm and everything. And I feel like as you get older, and you're not so stressed out. You have your stuff together a little bit more.
I think you start to prioritize like what makes you feel good more than just like going with the flow of like what your friends are wanting to do and all.
And I feel like I now say no to a lot of things where it's like I felt like before I always had to say yes to everything. You know, you feel like, or if people are like, can you cover this class? I'd always be like, oh yes. And now I'm like, nope, I need a day off, or like, you know.
But I mean, I mean I think like you do have, when you're younger, obviously you have to put in some sort of like skin in the game, whatever industry you're in, to like build your experience and all that. So you kind of have to do what works for you. But
I know it's hard. I need to talk to you guys like offline about this as like mentors, because I feel like I'm going through it right now and a lot of people are, and I'm just like, wait, how do I be like that TikTok sounds like I want to be like you, my dude. Like you guys are on TikTok.
we love TikTok. We're not maybe like the best at using it, but we're all
it's addicting.
Yeah, it's a bit too addicting.
Yeah.
But before I let both of you go, thank you so much again for coming on the podcast. This is kind of a dream collab for me. I was so excited that you said yes to coming on. But where can everyone find you and find Moneymaker Workouts?
Yeah.
So our handle on Instagram and TikTok is at Moneymaker Workouts. And then our website is moneymakerworkouts.com. And then if you want to try 2 weeks free of our app or like online workouts through your laptop, there's a 2-week free trial on our website.
You can go to the Apple Store and download our app. It's free to download. And yeah, if you get the 2-week trial, so it's also on the Apple Store for, I think it's Moneymaker Workouts on there too. And then, yeah, Marisa Jaramillo on Instagram, and Brooke.
My Instagram's Brooke Jacqueline. I need to get better at posting on Instagram because I don't do it and I need someone to tell me to do it. So, yes.
Well, thank both of you for coming on. You're welcome back literally anytime you'd like.
Thank you so much.